What up guys, Silver Warrior here, and today I'm going to be giving you 4 interesting life hacks for silver investing. This is for all you silver investors out there. This will be 4 interesting silver investing life hacks. And you might be wondering, since when do people talk in these videos? I thought that you guys didn't care enough about us to actually talk to us. You know, don't you just like play some really terrible copyright-free song in the background because you can't afford your own music, and then you go and show us completely useless life hacks? I mean, useful life hacks? Well, you see, I'm going to be showing you some useful life hacks, but they're so incredibly useful that their usefulness might just not present itself immediately. You see, I have to kind of explain to you guys because it's like magic in front of your eyes will be happening. So I'll be narrating this life hack video so that you guys can understand it, because it is pretty complex stuff. But let's get into the first life hack. Now this first life hack requires a minimum of 2 pieces of silver bullion, okay? Now this it's a little complicated, but I'll talk you through it, okay? So I have 6 here because, you know, I'm crazy, and I'm going to go ham on this and show you guys, you know, just how good I've become at this one. But I'd recommend starting with 2 so you don't overwhelm yourself, and I'd recommend starting with 1 ounce rounds or bars, whichever you prefer, and I recommend using silver that you wouldn't mind getting dinged up, because that's what's going to be happening here. So for you pros, now me, I can just kind of align it from the top. I'm kind of, you know, a beast at this and everything, but for you guys who aren't pros like I am, I'd recommend putting 1 piece of silver on top of the other and aligning it, and then slowly raising it up into the air. Now once you drop it, at least try to get at least 50% of the silver to hit the other piece of silver, because otherwise, you know, it won't work quite the same. But what'll happen is you raise about a foot off the ground, and then, whoa, listen to that. Whoa, you hear that? I mean, basically what I've done here is made these pieces of silver into an instrument. You guys right now are listening to a sweet symphony of metallic ringing sounds. Ooh, that is so nice. Oh yeah. Now 50% doesn't have to hit it, because if you hit it with the edge, it should be fine. It kind of creates a little bit of a different sound. You can see this one rings a little bit more. Maybe don't start at a foot if you're not a pro like me. Maybe start a little bit, but it won't be quite as loud. You want to get that inertia going or something. So there you go. Now on the carpet, it will create a little bit of a different sound than on a desk. As you can see, you know, I have it on the carpet, but it'll work just as well on a desk. Well, you know, kind of well. It doesn't sound quite the same. And these are just some Lego things, so don't judge me for that. Anyway, I definitely, if you become like an expert like me, I'd recommend going and starting to take some, you know, some other pieces of silver, okay? You know what I mean? Like, take, like, for example, a multitude of varieties of silver. You see, I can get a little bit of a different sound out of that, and a different sound out of that, and a different sound out of that. Now if you become a pro, like an absolute pro, maybe even start throwing in some different sized silver bars. And by size I mean weight, because these are also different sizes, but anyway, just some different weighted silver bars. Now that's quite an interesting sound we got out of that one. And then that's, you know, a little bit of a lighter sound. You can get maybe a louder sound. Now one problem with this is that it kind of muffles the silver, and the heavier an object is, the faster it will fall, and therefore it has more inertia that it will require to stop it. So it might crack your silver bars if you're using too heavy of a one, is what I'm saying there, for all you common folk out there who can't quite understand the science. You know, it is pretty complex stuff. But yeah, so basically you have an instrument now. And if you have any friends, if you somehow have friends and you're watching this video, then first of all, how do you get friends? I would love to know. And second of all, invite them over and you guys can start a band. You know, one person can play the silver round, Another can play the silver bar, someone can play the 1 ounce bar, someone can play the 5 ounce bar, whatever you want. It's endless opportunity with this one, guys. There is an endless amount of opportunity with this life hack. It is definitely the most useful life hack you'll ever find. Now, this second life hack will require a little bit more of silver bars and stuff. It'll require a minimum of 4, and anything after that is just amazing. And this is for all you silver stackers out there. You guys know exactly who you are. If you're in the crowd watching this, you know if you're a silver stacker or not. And what I'm going to do is basically you want to set up your foundation and put on your wall. Oh, okay. There we go. Put up your walls. Just like that. You see, even I can mess up, and I'm a pro at life hacks. And look at that. We've got a whole house made of silver. Now, if you're ham, you want to go ham on this, maybe try to create a 2-tier house. I've never successfully done it before. It's tough. I've gotten close. Once I was almost there, I had 2 walls up, but it just didn't go so well after that. The roof just knocked it all down. But I definitely recommend starting with the higher weight bars on the bottom and then the lower weight ones on the top, because as you can see, they're very hard to knock over. But if you try to make a house with smaller ones, these ones will fall over much easier, and they're a lot harder to set up. So, yeah, maybe you can set up variations too, kind of like that, or whatever you want. I mean, you can throw some silver at it. But this is, like I said, for all the silver stackers out there who just want to have a whole house made of silver, and this is the life hack for you, alright? And like I said, this will require a minimum of 4 pieces of silver, so you kind of have to be rich for this one, but if you are dedicated like I am, then trust me, you'll want to do this, okay? Now, this third life hack only requires 2 pieces of silver, but the more the merrier. This is the most important life hack you'll ever see in your entire life. Like, the whole life that you're living will be just completely, changed by this, because this will literally give you free silver, okay? Now, I'm going to drop some maths on you guys, okay? Now, let's say you start with 4 5-ounce silver bars, alright? And you take one of them. Now, you want to double this bar to a 10-ounce bar, okay? For free, by the way. Completely free. Holy crap. It just worked. You guys are literally just seeing maths in the making. Look, you literally have a 10-ounce bar now. This is 10 ounces of silver. But I started with a 5-ounce bar. You're thinking, how is this possible? How in the world can you have a 10-ounce bar, okay? How is that possible for you to be having a 10-ounce bar? How are you doing this? This life hack is so amazing. But it's really simple. I mean, you just 5 plus 5 equals 10. And look, I did it again. And I started with a 5-ounce bar in front of your eyes, okay? There's no camera trickery at all going on. I literally started with a 5-ounce bar. You guys can rewind the tape. And I now have 20 ounces of silver. I started with 5 ounces. Just take a second to ponder that. I literally just doubled my silver for free. Free! You have to admit that's pretty incredible, okay? You got to admit, free 20 ounces or free 15 ounces of silver. I started with 5 ounces. I got 20 ounces now. Man, this is like the most insane life hack you'll ever see in your life, okay? Please, if this does not get a like, I don't know what will. I mean, oh, whoops, sorry about that. I really worked hard on this one. It took me years. The reason I don't have that much silver anymore is because I spent thousands of ounces of silver that disappeared on me because I was trying to get this life hack perfected just for you guys. If that doesn't earn a like, I don't know what will. This is the most insane life hack. It's so simple, yet so complex that it took years for me to figure this one out. Okay, but I'm a genius. And you might be thinking, how can other people not think of this? How can you think of it? It's such a simple life hack. How did you think of it first? I'm just smarter than everyone else, okay? That's simple as that. Now, this last life hack requires a little bit of science, and science scares me because, think about it. Science is literally a word that's spelled like it doesn't even sound like. Shouldn't it be spelled like S-I-E-N-C-E or C-I-N-E-C-E or something like that? Like, it's science. Like, I don't know, that scares me personally. I think it scares most of you guys too. But what you'll need for this one, this is the only one that requires more than just silver. It'll also require a plasma ball, and that's where the science comes in. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this in the light first, but it'll look much cooler in the dark, trust me, okay? So, the plasma ball should not be turned on first. And I recommend using a 1 ounce piece for this one, so get out of here, you big boys. And, you know, as a professional life hackist, I know that you need to be using a 1 ounce because the 5 ounce will be too heavy for it. And do not place this on the plasma ball first, because if you do that, it'll give you a little bit of a shock, and that'll hurt really badly, and you might throw the piece up into the air, and that could damage it, the plasma ball or the silver piece, and you won't be able to play any more sweet music. So get the silver piece on first, turn it on, and then, as you can see, this plasma is still floating freely. And yes, this is plasma, by the way. That's why it's called a plasma ball, duh. But look at what we're doing. We're creating a highly powerful electrical beam, okay? Are you seeing this? Can you hear it? I mean, I bet you can hear that on the camera. And if you touch this, it will hurt. I'll demonstrate. Okay. Alright. Come on. Gotta get through this for the life hack. Okay. But if you place this onto here, as you can see, a powerful beam is created, as the one silver piece alone is not enough. However, you combine silver with your own hand, and all of a sudden it becomes the most powerful conductor of electricity ever. You know, silver is one of the best conductors of electricity in the world. Or maybe even is the best, I don't know. But I just know that the silver is siphoning all of this at once. Now you see, if I touch this one piece of here, the same thing will happen. But it becomes even more powerful. You see even more of the plasma going to it when I touch it like this, with 2 pieces of silver. Now, this is crazy, because now you'll have a completely useless and potentially hazardous electrical beam. I mean, and it looks really cool at parties, okay? You know, it doesn't look so cool in the light, but you'll have to see this one in the dark. Alright, so I'm in the closet. You can't really see anything, but I got a couple of silver things, and I mean, don't take them the wrong way in the closet. It doesn't mean anything, okay? So, that's offensive. So, what I'm going to be doing is placing this piece of silver again on top of here. Now, you can't really see it because it's dark, but watch this. Okay, I don't know where the switch is. I can't find it. Oh, wait, okay. There we go. Okay. Now, look how cool that looks. Now, you ready for this? Alright. Now, here comes the really cool part. Watch how big this beam is. Whoa. Look at all that current. You couldn't even see it in the light. But in the dark... Whoa. Okay. Okay, I got a little bit scared there. Sorry. But in the dark, you can see... Maybe you can't. My camera's not working. There we go. You can see in the dark how cool that looks. And, I mean, it's crazy. So let's recap on these life hacks. Now, you can tell I'm a professional life hackist because, oh, whoops, sorry about that. Because I showed you 4 life hacks all at once, and they're all very interesting. Very simple and interesting life hacks. And the first one, I literally showed you how to make an instrument, which might actually get you some friends. Again, please do leave in the comments how you get friends. The second one, I did something. The third one, I remember, was literally the best silver trick in the world. I gave you guys free silver. Oh yeah, the second one was something about, oh, I don't remember. But then the fourth one, I created a completely useless and potentially hazardous electrical beam. So, but don't try these at home, okay? This is just for life hack purposes, okay? I think I forgot to put that disclaimer. Don't try these at home, just for life hack purposes, even though I'm labeling these as interesting life hacks. Don't try them at home, okay? The author is not responsible for any injury at all that happens to you, okay? Alright, now, if I could get a like on this video, 1 like. I mean, that's pretty modest, you know, I'm a pretty famous life hackist, but if I could get 1 like on this video, I would be so happy. So incredibly happy. I mean, I would probably celebrate, okay? So please, can we hit 1 like on this video, and stay tuned for more future life hackist videos. So, it's Life Hackist 69420 signing out.